Here, I'd like to talk about tempo in the opening. So we have developing moves, so that uses your tempo, so you stay on par, and you have non-developing moves. That's a move that doesn't help you develop anything, so that wastes the move, so it wastes one tempo. Tempo is the time to take one useful move. An undeveloping move is a move that undoes a previous developing move, so it wastes two tempo. Okay, so tempo is basically a move. So if you've wasted a tempo, you haven't spent your move very well. Okay, so let's have a look. So in this position, knight f3 is a developing move. You are moving the knight to a better square. Any move that moves a piece, apart from the king and the rook, off the back line, is a developing move. However, h3 is a non-developing move because it doesn't really let any pieces out. I mean, the rook can go to h2, but it doesn't go anywhere from there. So that's a bit of a wasted move. And in this position, we'll play knight back to its start square. That's an undeveloping move which wastes two whole moves. That doesn't mean that moves that waste the tempo are necessarily bad, or moves that don't waste time are good. It's just, it can be useful when you're comparing different moves. Okay, so at the start of the game, pawns are totally immobile. They all have one or two possible squares. They don't need to be developed. You may move a pawn to free a bishop. If you do that, it's a tempo well spent. If the bishop cannot move, as in this case, if I move a pawn, that's has not wasted tempo. However, if the bishop is already freed, and I move a pawn to free it, that costs a tempo because it doesn't mean it's a bad move. It does mean I'm not getting the bishop out as fast as if I'd moved it straight away. Okay, so here we have a position in the two knights defence. So white can play knight to g5. Now that move loses the tempo because the knight was already developed. It was already in the knight zone, which is a 4x4 square in the middle, where it has a maximum range of 8 squares. So that move loses the tempo. It doesn't mean it's a bad move because the attack on f7 is very difficult to meet. Now in this position, black decides to exchange off his developed bishop for the undeveloped knight, and he's lost the tempo. So when you do that, when you exchange a developed piece for an undeveloped piece, you lose time. Now in this position, there's a single open file, both sides have a rook on it. White takes, black recaptures. Now white has lost the tempo because black recaptured with a developing move. He's effectively swapped off this rook, which was active on an open file, for this one which was undeveloped on a closed file. So the exchange has lost white time. And that's the end of the section. So it's very so that was a short video on tempo. So you have developing moves and non-developing moves, which waste the tempo, and undeveloping moves, which undo a move, which waste two tempi. And you lose time if you exchange off a developed piece for a non-developed piece, or your opponent recaptures with a developing move. Thank you for watching.